I'm Giulia. I'm an Italian cabin crew working for Ryanair in Germany. I used to be based abroad until 2 years ago, and so since 2 years I came here in Germany. And I am one of the cabin crew who was organizing one of the bases here in Germany in order to start fighting against the company, because we all were agreeing on the fact that there were many things that we had to change about the company. We didn't have a minimum wage. We had people without a basic salary, without a minimum salary. So we had also cabin crew taking from 300 up to 800 net in some of the months, and of course with those you cannot survive. And if we consider also the treatment and the pressure that the company normally uses against their own employees, we just realized that we really had to, let's say, do something to start, let's say, gathering together, because we are talking about a union busting company that was used to always try to divide its employees by using the fear, by using the pressure, and we are talking about sales pressure, for example, is one of the many. And also, let's say, in general, a very unfair company and non-transparent company in under every aspect, if I can say so. So we started to organize ourselves, to unionize ourselves in order to be capable and able to negotiate with the company, because negotiating is something that we couldn't do by our own. We needed also legal support and legal strength. And of course also the union brought us, let's say, the attention of the media, of the press, of the politicians and so on, giving us a strength that we wouldn't have reached by our own. So we started negotiating. We started our fight with the first strikes in September 2018, but we started negotiating in August, 1 month before the negotiations. And of course we started to strike because we saw that the negotiations were going nowhere and that we had to force a bit the company in order to receive what we wanted, which was at least a minimum wage. And I'm not even talking about all the other conditions, because of course there are many things we should talk about. And in September 2018, we had 2 strikes here in Germany. And in November, we already had a cornerstone paper for a CLA, so the collective labor agreement, in order to receive a pay raise, in order to receive a way more, let's say, fair treatment, to give the possibility to everybody to receive a minimum wage, so a basic salary for everybody, a minimum income that would guarantee a bit of dignity to people. And we also negotiated a social plan, which is a plan for the people made redundant, the workers made redundant because of base closure or downsizing. And we have the ending of forced unpaid leave, for example, which we were forced to take up to 5 months of unpaid leave, which means that you are not employed, but you don't have the right to have a second job, and so on. And at the moment, we are still struggling because we are negotiating for the Works Council. So we have a collective labor agreement about pay raise and a social plan, as I mentioned already before. But we also changed the law in the parliament, which was the clause 117, that was not allowing people in the aviation to have a Works Council, basically, like saying in a nutshell. But now we removed that clause. We had the attention of the Minister of Labor here in Germany, which was a huge help, really. So at the moment we are negotiating the Works Council, because the company is saying that we don't have a German establishment, so we don't have the right to have it. So that's why we are negotiating that we are not continuing by law. But at the moment this is our struggle, and my message in general for every employee is just don't be scared. Try to gather together. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Doesn't matter if you fear for repercussions, because if you just fear that, you will never make a move. So try always to be smart. Try always to be prepared, to have the knowledges in order to start fighting. So you have to know your enemy and you have to know what you can do. And like this, you can try to find the best solution in order to start a fight. So what we did in our experience was trying to talk between each other, and then choosing a weapon, which was the union, and then we started the fight, and we started also, let's say, to show up a bit more, let's say, proudly, without being afraid of everything. I know that at the moment I'm changing my voice and I'm not showing my face, but this is just because, of course, it's a precautionary way. Because fighting doesn't mean to just make a massacre and being fired because you're not smart enough or, let's say, cautious enough. So this is just about being cautious, but it doesn't mean that we are giving up on our fight.